5 years ago, monsters from a different realm invaded the world. That was also the day of awakening, the day when humans were awakened with different destinies, which determined the abilities the awakened would have. They then become destiny hunters who hunt demons. Destiny hunters are divided into 5 classes. The highest class is called divine. Following divine are draconic, ghostly, humanly, and the lowest class of all, insectal. These classes are then divided into 3 grades: primary, secondary, and tertiary. With primary being the highest grade and tertiary being the lowest grade. So Gangrim is the unluckiest of all, as he was born with the worst destiny. His rank is tertiary insectal grade. The lowest of the lowest ranks, at the very bottom of the food chain. And it seems like everywhere he goes, death follows him. Gangrim's destiny gave him 2 powers called destiny detection and destiny stealing. Destiny detection allows him to see others' destiny windows, while destiny stealing allows him to steal destiny from a corpse. It doesn't matter if it's a human or a monster as long as it takes the form of a human. Despite having such unique destiny powers, Gangrim still can't use his powers because of his low rank and insufficient mana. Gangrim was sitting all by himself when a guy approached him, starting a friendly conversation that shocked Gangrim. That shock soon turned into disappointment when the guy was called over by a group of hunters, who told him about Gangrim, causing the friendly guy to be scared of Gangrim. Gangrim is known for the rumors spreading about him. Rumors about him killing his own teammates and stealing their powers, but those weren't true, Gangrim knew. But he couldn't really do anything about it as he, too, believes that he brings bad luck upon his friends. Sad about his bad fate, Gangrim continued cleaning his sword, silently waiting for the special Demon Realm Joint Raid Team mission to start. That was until he was approached by 2 hunters, Yuharang and Jang Taehoon, Gangrim's friends. Yuharang's class is a tertiary divine grade, while Jang Taehoon's is a secondary ghostly grade. Harang and Taehoon invited Gangrim to the dinner party after the joint team raid mission, but Gangrim declined, knowing that the other hunters would just gossip around about him if he went there. Harang and Taehoon kept on insisting for him to come, until another guy named Kang Do-yoon came and told the 3 to go to their positions. Kang Do-yoon's class is a secondary humanly grade. All 4 of them have the same affiliation, the Flying Tiger sect, but the sect is divided into different groups. Since Harang, Taehoon, and Do-yoon have higher ranks, they are in the same group, while Gangrim is in another group as he is a lower rank. The 3 parted ways with Gangrim, causing the latter to feel sad and wish to work alongside his friends. Soon, the mission started, and all hunters entered through a portal that would lead them to the demon realm. The mission starts, and everyone goes to their position, fighting demons. Gangrim tried to keep up with all the fighting around him but soon fell when a demon attacked him from behind. The demons turned to him to attack when someone came and saved Gangrim. It was Shin Sua, a tertiary divine grade and the mistress of the Flying Tiger sect. Shin Sua is one of Gangrim's friends and has always protected him. The battle continued until they heard the roar of the final boss, which confused the hunters as they weren't supposed to meet the final boss this early. The hunters watched as the demon boss came barreling towards them before getting slashed in the middle by an unknown woman. The woman showed herself up, looking for Gangrim. When no one answered her, the woman casually killed all the hunters in front of her, assuming that Gangrim was among them. Gangrim used his destiny detection power to see the woman's destiny window and learned that she was Baek Young, a primary divine grade, with a power of regression, which allows her to go back to the past. And after that, he couldn't read any further as Baek Young's destiny was being protected. Gangrim decided to show himself to her but was blocked by a barrier of tree branches. He heard someone whispering to his ear and telling him to stay hidden, and Gangrim knew it was Sua, who has the power of the tree leaf method and the distant whispering technique. Sua fought with Baek Young but was clearly losing, as Baek Young is far stronger than her. Gangrim watched as all the hunters died in the hands of Baek Young. He watched as his friends, Harang, Taehoon, and Do-yoon, died trying to fight off Baek Young and protect everyone. Soon, all that was left were Sua, Gangrim, and the other hunters, who were being protected by a barrier. Baek Young made a move to kill the remaining hunters just as Gangrim was finally able to destroy the tree branches. When Gangrim fell from the tree branches, he looked up to see that he was too late. Everyone was dead. Baek Young approached him, now knowing that he was the one she was looking for, and raised her sword to end him, but was stopped by Suwa. Gangrim couldn't do anything but watch as Suwa, his only remaining friend, died in front of him. Gangrim used his destiny-stealing power to check the number of corpses around him and decided to steal everyone's destinies with a promise of revenge. Once he'd stolen all the corpses' destinies, Gangrim used all the powers he could handle to fight Baek Young, but he was losing because he didn't know how to use them. But Gangrim knew that if there was one power of a teammate that he knew so well, it would be Sua's tree leaf method. Gangrim used the tree leaf method and was able to beat Baek Young with it. The battle ended, Baek Young died, and Gangrim won. But despite getting his revenge, Gangrim still felt like he lost. He lost everyone, and he blames himself for it. His friends died protecting him, and the rumor was proven to be true: everywhere Gangrim goes, death follows. While he was mourning the loss of his friends, Gangrim suddenly remembered Baek Young's regression power. He stole Baek Young's destiny, and in desperation to bring everyone back and save them, he activated the power and went back to the past. Gangrim fell unconscious, and when he woke up, he saw that he had gone back to 5 years ago, to the day of awakening and the first time he met Shin Suwa, whose eyes were still complete then. He first met Suwa when he was still working as a fortune teller. And Suwa came with her then boyfriend to see how compatible they were. Back in Gangrim's past life, he had told the couple they were very compatible, but now that he knows Suwa personally, despite the past Suwa not knowing him, he knew not to let her end up with the guy and decided to help her get out of the relationship. Suwa felt thankful for what he did and decided to stay behind to get another fortune reading. And that's when the awakening occurred. Every human received an announcement that their stats were being calculated based on their destiny, and that was when they gained their abilities. After the announcement, Gangrim immediately walked out of the room, not wanting to get involved with Suwa because he didn't want history to repeat itself. But Suwa followed him and dragged him so they could evacuate immediately. When they reached the hallway with other people in it, they saw them running away and yelling about monsters. There they saw the monsters chasing the humans, and Gangrim, having experienced this already, knew what he needed to do. He killed all the demons and was amused when he saw Suwa so happy after doing the same thing. While the others evacuated, Gangrim stayed behind to collect the dead demon spirit pearls when he noticed that Suwa stayed behind, waiting for him. Gangrim told Suwa about her destiny, and that's when Sua's destiny window popped up in front of her, surprising her. Gangrim told her about the basics of the awakening without making it seem like he came from the future, before the two of them made their way down the building. Since he went back to the past, Gangrim lost all the abilities he had stolen from the other hunters during the fight with Baek Young, and his destiny was back to the way it was 5 years ago, with his class being tertiary insectal grade and fire as his attribute. The only thing that changed was his karma. Because he stole the destinies of 421 people, Gangrim built up a great amount of karma, which only happens when a hunter commits great crimes like murder or steals other people's destiny like he did. When a person builds up too much karma, they will go beyond the border and be punished for their crimes. On their way down, Suwa noticed a person in the hallway, and they ran to help, but they were too late. The person had died, and seeing his ability, Gangrim decided to steal his destiny, earning another karma as a penalty. Suwa and Gangrim noticed another person, and Gangrim recognized who it was. Dok Gojin, a tertiary divine grade, has the gold attribute and ability of a dreamer, which helps him be less affected by ghostly energy. He also has a primary draconic grade for his mentality, pain, and fear resistance. In Gangrim's past life and now in his future, Dok Gojin is the leader of one of the 5 great sections. Gangrim knows Dok Gojin as a pretty delusional individual who loves making up stories about everything around him, and that includes thinking that he's the main character, and therefore hates the side characters he thinks are useless. Which means that Dok Gojin hated him so much because he was weak, but now that's about to change as Gangrim is planning on making himself stronger until the day he has to face Baek Young again. As the three of them were talking, they saw a primary insectal grade enormous worm chasing a guy. The guy soon died, and Gangrim shot fire at the worm to distract it while Gojin and Suwa ran away. But Gangrim was running out of mana and couldn't beat the worm. Fortunately, Suwa came back, and since Suwa's ability is the tree leaf method, it was compatible with Gangrim's fire abilities. Suwa and Gangrim's fates became intertwined, and the two of them together killed the enormous worm. After defeating the worm, Suwa and Gangrim left and shortly arrived in a room where a totem pole was seen standing in the middle of a platform. The totem pole is actually a tertiary draconic grade that helps heal humans that come near it and prevents demons from approaching. Dok Gojin and other survivors were also in the room, and that's where they met a masked woman called Anavi Chaisha, a member of the Fate Protection Agency. The Fate Protection Agency was an unknown agency that aimed to protect citizens from the demons that were to invade the world. Anavi then explained what was happening to the survivors. Different portals suddenly appeared, and demons are coming out of them. The Fate Agency knew this was bound to happen, and so the Fate Agents called Chaishas have been preparing for it, as they were awakened before everyone else. The humans are going to be awakened, and they will have to make a choice about whether or not they want to become Destiny Hunters or not. Those who decide not to become Hunters would lose their powers and would be protected by the Fate Agency and the Hunters. And those who choose to be Hunters would be awakened, and they would use their abilities to raid the demon realm and hunt down demons. Later on, those who decided to become Hunters stayed, and they will soon start their first training. Everyone was told to form a group with 3 as the maximum number of members, and they would have to enter the first room to start their training. In the first room, the Hunters have to eliminate 6 monsters. Failure to eliminate exactly 6 monsters would require going back to the first room and restarting the trial. After the brief explanation, the Hunters started forming their own groups. Suwa approached Gangrim and asked him to be in the same group, but Gangrim remembered how his friends, including Suwa, died and refused Suwa's offer, choosing to go with Gojin instead. The two of them entered the first room, cautiously looking around and fighting skeletons. Suddenly, the ground Gangrim was standing on gave up, and he fell down a pit. Thinking that Gangrim failed and that he wasn't actually a main character, Gojin just shrugged it off and continued on his own. Meanwhile, Gangrim fell into the secret area of the room, where he discovered the martial generals, who were the tertiary human-grade bosses in the area. Gangrim defeated martial generals, and since the monsters are taking the form of humans, he was able to steal their destinies, and he gained the power of Unsheath, which makes his swordsmanship a feat of a tertiary demonic grade at minimum. Gangrim received a warning about receiving a great amount of karma. But Gangrim paid no mind to it and left the first room before Gojin did. Since he was the first to clear the first room, Anavi rewarded Gangrim with a suite room, Wi-Fi, and an inventory bag. Using the Wi-Fi password he received, Gangrim watched the news and saw the announcement video from Soman Yongmu, the first team leader of the Soul Protection Agency, and that's where he realized that the mask Baek Young was wearing was the same as the masks the agents in the Fate Protection Agency were also wearing. Meanwhile, at the Fate Protection Agency, a meeting was being held. Gong Ju, the second team leader of the Fate Protection Agency in Seoul, was furious that the first room was cleared by 2 individuals in just a day, thinking that there were problems in the training room as it was easily cleared. Back in the training area, Gangrim saw Suwa with 2 girls and a guy named Chan Gunam. Gangrim knew Gunam was bad news, so he interrupted the group and asked to talk to Suwa privately. If you want to see part 2, click the subscribe button, and also hit that like button if you want more videos like this.